What's good, people? It is Tony the Savant. And before we get started, please like the video, share the video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel. As well, if you have not already, please subscribe to the channel as I drop content daily, go live daily, stay very busy on the platform. And last but not least, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, as I'm always intrigued to hear what you all have to say about these topics. And ladies and sports fans, and gentlemen, I got to ask the $1,000,000 question. Is Cailin Clark going to gain a reputation as a coach killer? Because Christy Sides was just recently uh, terminated from her duties as head coach of the Indiana Fever. And I got million and one questions as to why. Because the Indiana Fever, man, if y'all didn't know, a lot of you Cailin Clark fans were not around prior to Cailin Clark being drafted to the WNBA this recent, what was that, June 2024. A lot of y'all weren't very aware or probably didn't even know what an Indiana Fever was. You probably thought it was a code or something. But Christy Sides has been very integral at the improvements that the Indiana Fever have been able to make. That's with the coaching of Aaliyah Boston as well, Cailin Clark. A lot of people don't know that the year before Aaliyah Boston as well, but Chrissy Sides and Aaliyah Boston both got there in 2023. And the year prior to that, the Indiana Fever, only had 4 wins. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 4. And I can't recall exactly what they had before the year prior to that, but 2022 is when they drafted Nalissa Smith, number 2. And that didn't really move the needle on the franchise. But Aaliyah Boston's arrival, along with the coaching of Christy Sides, nearly tripled the win total for the Indiana Fever. And fast forward to this 2024 season with all of the media and social media, pressure that surrounded this particular organization, they were able to get 7 more wins in Christy Sides' second year. So in the 2 years that she was there, she was able to take this team from a 4-win team to a 20-win team. And that's what I find impressive about Christy Sides. Considering all of the pressure and expectations of coaching not just 1 but 2 rookie of the years, I don't understand for the life of me why the Indiana Fever, I believe Lynn Dunn, I think is the general manager over there. I don't understand what the upper brass were thinking. What were the options on the table when firing Christy Sides, because she has been nothing but successful with this franchise, despite them not having the sort of organizational success that the Las Vegas Aces or the New York Liberty have, who have, both those squads are loaded up with veteran superstars. Despite that, she's been able to take this team from despicable to respectable. And last season, again, and Cailin Clark's rookie campaign, they went from a 13-win team in 2023 to a 20-20 team. Exactly 50, exactly 500, and also made their first playoff appearance since 2016. So nearly a decade, this woman in 2 seasons got this team back into relevancy and back into the postseason. And then she's relieved of her duties as the coach of the Indiana Fever. And it just makes me wonder, what's going on here. We all know that the drama surrounding Cailin Clark was real. We also know that the Karen Clarks, the Karen and Darren Clarks, the trolls that call themselves Cailin Clark fans, they have been calling for Christy Sides firing since the beginning of the season. As the Indiana Fever did start off pretty slow this year at 2-9, they were able to recover and redeem their season, if you will. And so much so that they were the best offensive team in the WNBA after the Olympic break, hands down. Well, they just turned it on. And I've seen it myself. It went from an offense trying to figure things out, kind of winning and losing in a sloppy fashion, to just being a well-oiled machine after the Olympic break. I don't think you can attribute all of that to the players solely. I don't think you can say that was just because of Caitlin Clark or Aaliyah Boston or Kelsey Mitchell. You got to give some of that credit to Christy Sides, man. And I think this is highly unfair of her. Now, if she was only brought on to this team to be a transitional coach, those kind of things happen as well, then I think she earned the opportunity to be the full-time coach and kind of see this thing through. As Caitlin Clark is still young, so is Aaliyah Boston, and this team has a lot of budding talent around it, including the likes of Kelsey Mitchell, Nalissa Smith, Lexi Hall, amongst others. So I don't know. I don't know, and I do want to say that I'm starting to feel like Caitlin Clark is getting this reputation of some sort of a diva. Although I love Caitlin Clark, that's my girl. I'm a big fan of hers. I just hate to see this player entitlement era where these players can make as many mistakes as they want. As Caitlin Clark led the league in turnovers, I mean, I believe she set a WNBA a record for turnovers in one season. She was allowed to make all of these mistakes, play zero, little to no defense, respectfully, and that it wasn't just her. The entire defensive scheme of the Indiana Fever was putrid at best, and it wasn't so much. I don't think the scheme, because that would come from the coaching. I think it was the players' ability to not really stick defense, and you can't really hold that against them because the WNBA is full of very skilled women that know how to play the game of basketball, which is something that I've been, I guess you can say, crying and yelling for years. Everybody, especially this past recent season, were just so hooked on Caitlin Clark, and it's like, nah, man, the WNBA is full of elite basketball players. You just gotta watch them. You gotta know what you're watching, and you gotta watch them. But the defense for the Indiana Fever left more to be desired. Maybe that's why Christy Sides was fired. But in my head, I don't think that the coach can play defense for you. But you can't really do too much of the players nowadays. So, Christy Sides would be the one that takes the axe for this, for the woes of the Indiana Fever. But there's also a high turnover amongst, across the league, as right now, as we speak, 50% of the WNBA's teams do not have a head coach. 6 out of the 12 teams, not including the Golden State Valkyries, who will be making their debut, I believe, next season. Not including them, 6 out of the 12 teams that played in the 2024 season have no head coach right now. So there is a high turnover that goes along with being a head coach in any professional sport, as we see this across all of the major sports leagues. NFL, NBA, MLB, guys get hired and fired. They get fired just as quick as they were hired. So there is that, and I think that a lot of these teams are looking to take advantage of this newfound popularity, and they want to put themselves in the best position possible, to accelerate their team's ascending. So I'm not mad at that. I just feel like Christy Sides should not have been one of those coaches on the X. I mean, the LA Sparks coach, I think the guy named is Kurt Miller. All right, I see that, this is a Los Angeles franchise. It gets a lot of attention in its own right. All right, he didn't do nothing last season. We had a number of guys, even my team, Chicago Sky, Teresa Witherspoon, love Coach Spoon, but, she was a defensive-minded kind of coach, and I seen it firsthand, her losing the locker room moment by moment. She totally kind of lost handle of what was going on over there. But to me personally, I felt like I was very impressed with what Christy Sides was able to produce as the head coach of the Indiana Fever, and that's including the development of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin came in very uncomfortable at first. You got to give some of the credit to the coach, to the point of the matter that she was able to get comfortable and look a little bit like Iowa Caitlin Clark in that second half of the season. So respectfully, but we will look forward to see what happens next. I'm not totally, ready to call Cailin Clark a coach killer like I do LeBron James, because I feel like Cailin Clark gets the LeBron James treatment. She just doesn't have the LeBron James personality. You know what I mean? Like she gets a lot of attention. I've contested that she did not deserve to be on the All WNBA first team, considering her defensive woes and her high turnover rate. I could think of an easy 5 to 10 players more eligible than her to have made that list. But I think that Cailin Clark has the right head on her shoulders as far as moving forward. She seems humble enough to be a superstar, where she's just here to play some basketball, not really concerned with all of the outside noise. So I do want to give kudos to CC for that. I just think that this move, I don't think that the Indiana Fever upper brass will make this move without her consultation, and maybe even Aaliyah Boston too. I don't think this move is made without those two being at least asked what they think about Christie's side. So, and maybe they vouched for her. Maybe they vouched for her. That's why I'm not going in on CC. You know what I mean? But whoever this next coach is, uh, uh, if they get fired next year, we're going to have another video like this, and we're going to turn up the heat a little bit. Straight up, because I don't want to see Cailin Clark go down this LeBron James route. For me personally, I did have one more thing I wanted to tell y'all. No, I think that was it. I'm just looking at my notes. Just looking at my notes. Um, yeah, so that's it. That's all, y'all. I'm sorry about the brief pause. That's all I got for y'all on this one. So we will see where the Indiana Fever go from here. We will see where the continuing rising star of Cailin Clark goes from here. And we'll see what happens with the next. Because, oh, yes, another point that I wanted to make. It's been a trend with some of the WNBA superstars, Diana Taurasi, I believe, there's some other players, but a lot of WNBA superstars tend to win their first championship with the second head coach that they play under. And Candace Parker's situation, I believe she won her first championship in 2016. I believe the guy name was Brian Alger, if I'm not mistaken. That was her fourth head coach. So it's not foreign that a lot of WNBA superstars come into the league under one regime, and then the upper brass kind of move on to a more, I should say, a coach that's a little bit more catered to their superstars' play style. So we'll see from that point as well if Cailin Clark's follows the trend of some of the more notable superstars. Not and Maya Moore, I think she's one of the few, one of the rare WNBA superstar that was able to win not just one championship but multiple championships with the coach that she was drafted under. So it's very rare that happens, and I just wanted to make a note of that. So I will be closely observing the situation in Indiana, and I'm looking forward to see what where does Cailin Clark go from here in her development. Very interested. But that's all I got for y'all on this one. Please like the video, share the video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel. As well, if you have not already, please subscribe to the channel as I drop content daily, go live daily. Stay very busy on the platform. And last but not least, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, as I'm always interested to hear what y'all have to say about these topics. I am Tony the Savant. Peace.